let's just say $2,000. But you know in your heart and in your finances in your pocket that you really comfortably should only have a home or a mortgage payment of $1,700. That's something that you got to be honest with yourself about. Because hey YouTube, it's Jessica Gordon. Go ahead and subscribe, like, comment. We're about to get straight into it. So you all, you say you want to be a homeowner, and I am so excited that you are even watching this video because I truly believe that home ownership is a rite of passage for us. I do believe in helping Black and brown people to accomplish this goal, and it is just important to me. So some tips for you as someone who is interested in becoming a first-time home buyer. The very first thing that I have to share with you is you need to check in with yourself. Are you ready to be a homeowner? And what I mean by are you ready to be a homeowner is currently if you're renting and something's wrong with that home or that apartment that you're renting, you have a maintenance person that you have an opportunity to call. It's not like that when you become a homeowner, okay? You are responsible for all repairs. Something goes wrong, it is up to you. I first purchased a home when I was a single girl. I was out on the streets, but I had purchased my first home back in 2016. And whenever an issue came up, I always had to call a contractor. I always had to find someone, a repairman, to fix what was going on. Now, when me and my husband purchased our homes together, even then, and my husband is extremely handy, you all, we still ended up purchasing almost an acre of land. We have our own sewer, septic, and well. So we have our own water, right? Baby, nobody prepared me for a septic tank. I had never experienced that. And so we end up having to spend $5,000 just to scrub our septic tank. Baby, nobody prepared me for that. And I'm a real estate agent, okay? And so not only am I giving you advice as an agent, baby, I'm giving you advice as a homeowner. So I would highly recommend that you make sure that you're ready for home ownership. Another thing is saving money for those home maintenance expenses, because in a situation like that where our septic tank was overflowing, it has a bad smell. That's not something that you can wait on. So if you don't have any money saved up, you may end up having to take out a loan. You may end up having to ask someone for money, using your credit cards. Save money for your home maintenance expenses. So that is just a necessity. Like, you do not want to be in a situation where you can't take care of something that you know needs to be taken care of, or even a water heater. You don't have any hot water. Your water heater go out, you don't have any hot water. How you gonna pay for it? Okay, so those are the things that you have to consider. Another thing, whatever you're paying right now, you know your budget. You know how much you're bringing in every month. Be considerate, be modest, and even if you get approved for a mortgage and they say that your mortgage payment is going to be, let's just say $2,000, but you know in your heart and in your finances in your pocket that you really comfortably should only have a home or a mortgage payment of $1,700, that's something that you got to be honest with yourself about. Because it's one thing when they come through and look at your debt, they look at your income, they may very well tell you that you can afford more than you know that you can afford. Don't let any lender, any person, any real estate agent tell you what you can afford, because you are currently living. Now, if you're someone that has never rented and you've just been living at home, it may be a different scenario where you don't know what feels comfortable when it comes to how much. And we could unpack that a little later, but this is for us that have already rented or currently renting, and you know how much you're paying right now and what feels comfortable with buying your toiletries, buying your groceries, going out to eat, your entertainment because you want to go to the show, you want to go to the concert, you want to go out of town, you trying to go to Jamaica. You know your finances better than anyone. So don't let a lender, because that's why I'm starting off with this, know yourself, know your finances first, because you could get approved for more. The next thing that I would recommend, you know you want to be a homeowner, check your credit score. Keep up with it. I know a lot of people don't like Credit Karma because for multiple reasons, right? Because of course that's not your FICO score. Yes, I would check that annually. You don't want to consistently check it because it could reduce your points or your credit score. But Credit Karma, not an ad, can still give you that opportunity to view what is being reported to Equifax, what is being reported to TransUnion, because you need to know what's being reported and what is impacting that score. So no, I'm not saying that it's completely accurate. It is not. I've been through the process of purchasing a home twice, but I still use Credit Karma just for something to view, something that I can pull up very easily on my phone. Credit Karma just makes it very, very simple. So I highly recommend that you're checking your credit score regularly and early. Before you even attempt to start shopping for a home, you got to know your credit score. You need to know what your utilization rate is on your credit cards. So that is a huge piece that mortgage lenders are going to be looking for when they decide, okay, this person's debt to income ratio is this. They also are going to be looking at your credit score, and that's going to impact how much money they're going to be willing to loan you for your mortgage. So pay your bills on time, pay off any card balances. So if you can pay something down, pay it down. That's one of the things that I like about Credit Karma, is it will let you know your utilization rate. So I was always taught you need to keep your utilization rate under 30%. That means that you should, if they've given you a certain amount of money, you should only be using 30% of that money, and you need to be paying it each month on time. You know you want to buy a house? This is a huge one. Do not open any new accounts. Now, if you're watching this video, you've probably been doing your research already. You hear, don't buy a new car while you're under contract on a home. Right. Don't do that. But I had a client. I love her. Okay, I love her. I love her 2 children. She got it going on. She does. She has it going on. But she did not know that opening that new line, she ended up buying a Mercedes-Benz before we went under contract. So in her mind, she thinking I'm good because y'all gonna check my credit, right? Before y'all let me buy this house. She bought it probably within 2 to 3 weeks before we went under contract. And baby, it was the day before closing, and the lender said, we may not be able to close. She ended up having to get $15,000 from a family member in order to make the deal happen. Baby, it was stressful. Me and her were crying together. So do not open any new lines of credit. Even if you're not even under contract on a home, but you know that you want to purchase a home. And let me break it down a little bit further. So I shared a story with you about one of my clients who purchased a car and had not gone under contract yet. But the reason why you don't want to do it if you know that you want to purchase a home is because sometimes opening that line of credit may hit the credit bureaus a month later, 40 days later, could be 46 days later. And if they pull your information and look at your debt, look at your income, and look at your credit, they're basing how much money they're going to give you on that. And if it has not hit your credit yet, you could be in a situation where a few months, weeks later, they're like, no, I cannot help you with this deal because your debt to income is higher than we thought it was. Do not get yourself in that situation. You are learning right here from other people's mistakes. I already mentioned to pay down your debt, pay it. They are looking at your debt to income ratio. Let me say that again. Your debt is the money that you are spending each month. That's going out to creditors, to loans, whatever it may be, debt. Your income, so debt to income, how much money is coming in. They're going to look at that and balance it and see if it is under 50%. Now, even if it's 48%, that's really high. Some lenders won't even loan you any money if it's that high. So be mindful. You want your debt to income ratio to be as low as possible. And I'm going to share debt to income ratio in a little bit more detail. So just take a look at that so that you can do it on your own. You don't need a lender to check your debt to income ratio. Okay. If you know your credit, you know your debt, you know how much money you're bringing in, you got to be honest and you got to pull every single thing, but you can determine your own debt to income ratio. Okay. Another thing you need to do if you want to buy a house, save for your down payment and other costs. Save. I cannot stress that. So many people call me and say, hey, Jess, I'm interested in purchasing a home. How much should I save? Honestly, like one of those things where sky is the limit. Baby, you need to be saving everything that you can. Save everything that you can. Even if you know Oh, I want to live in a rural area. I know that USDA loans, you all, don't require any down payment, but you still may end up having closing costs that you need to pay. You also don't want to be house poor, where you don't have any money and you've spent all the money just to move into the house, and then you can't even live in the house comfortably. That's no way to live. So I always recommend save as much as possible. Homes are expensive, so it really also depends on where you live. So I can't give you a definite number, but if you are looking for representation, I would love to help you. So just let me know, or we can talk more in the chat. So please make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment. But you gotta save. Like, it is so important to save for your down payment. And down payments are typically anywhere from 3%, 5%. If it's an investment home that you're looking into, it could be anywhere up to 20 to 25%. But if you're a first-time home buyer, typically you're looking at 3 to 5% down. So however much that house costs, 3% of that home is 3% of that total amount is how much you would need to bring to the table. Now, closing costs typically are around 1% of the total of the home. So now if you're in a situation where you have to put 5% down for your down payment, then you have to bring 1%. Now you're looking at 6% of whatever the total price is of the home. And that can get pricey depending on how much the home costs. But that is math that you can do right on your phone with your calculator on your phone, whatever that amount is. All right. Another thing that I would do is, if you know you're in a situation where you don't have a lot of money to save, you could have children, whatever. Even if you don't have children, I was in a situation where when I purchased my first home, you all, I was a classroom teacher. And we know teachers don't make any money in the US. And I happen to live in a state that was only number 48 on that list for paying teachers. So when I purchased my home, I didn't have a lot of money for a down payment. So I did do some research, and I was able to find a down payment assistance program. And that program was specifically for teachers, and it did truly help me out. Now, before you go finding some down payment assistance program that sounds like dreamy, remember there's always fine print. There's always fine print. In 2023, I just recently sold that home that I purchased back in 2016. And thankfully, I had a lot of equity in the home, you all, but I could have had more had I not used that down payment assistance, because they loaned me $10,000 7 years ago. And because of fine print, was it 10 years ago? We'll have to do the math. Clearly it wasn't 10 years ago, because I said 2016 is 2023. Okay, 6 years ago. Yes, 7 years ago. They loaned me $10,000 for down payment assistance for the home that I purchased. I just sold it this year. And you all, do you know I had to still pay them $9,000 back? What was the purpose? So, I mean, I paid it because I didn't want to accumulate any debt, or they weren't even gonna let me sell the house. Like, they would have put a lien, like it would have been a mess. So research those first time home buyers programs. It helped me in the moment because I didn't have any family or friends that were able to loan me any money. It helped me, but that doesn't mean that it was the best option, because yes, I was able to buy the home, which was a great thing, and I loved it. I'm thankful I had the experience. I had a lot of equity, so I did run up my 6 bands that I made. But at the same time, they really only gave me $50 because I still had to pay them $9,000 back. So I could just go on and on about down payment assistance programs. Yes, they are useful. Yes, if you know you're in a situation where you already do not make a lot of money, you do not have family and friends that can help you out like other people, then yes, consider them, research them, ask questions, ask a lot of questions, all right? Another thing about buying a home as a first-time home buyer is you want to know your loan options. So there's certain loans, such as a conventional loan, there's a FHA loan, there are VA loans, there are USDA loans. So you want to do more research, and that's for a whole nother video where I could break down each one of the loan types, but each one has its benefits, and each one also comes with something. So just be mindful, and if you want to know more about each one, please just let me know, because I can share that information with you about each one of the loan types. So it's conventional, FHA, VA loans, and that's for my service men and women, and then there's a USDA loan that's specifically for rural areas. So if you know that you're ready for that process, you want to know the difference between each one and which ones you're eligible for and which ones would give you the best opportunity to be successful and also purchase that home. All right, another biggie for my first time home buyers, you have to have your paperwork in order. Please don't come to a mortgage lender and you're like, oh man, my W-2s, I didn't file last year. Baby, they're not gonna let you buy a house. They're not gonna let you buy a house. Like, I don't know what else to say. So you will need your pay stubs. So if you get paid bi-monthly, bi-weekly, however you get paid, you need your pay stubs. They may ask for a month of pay stubs. They may ask for 2 months. They could even ask for 6 months of pay stubs so they can really fine-tooth comb should they loan this money to you. You want to have your last 2 years of your W-2s and at the minimum 2 months of your most recent bank statements. I mean, baby, down to a science to where you got to print it directly from your bank. You can't have some copy. It has to show the page numbers. It is very detailed. So you want to have all your paperwork in order. So when that lender is ready or you're ready to send this information to the lender, you're not scrambling, you're not looking around, you're not wondering where the information is. Have your paperwork ready. Your identification card, your pay stubs, your W-2s, as well as your bank statements. Yes, they look at your bank statements. And it's not a situation where they're like, oh, they went to Chick-fil-A a lot, but they need to see that the money is being deposited into that account to verify that you would be someone that they want to invest their money in. All right. Then I would say my last tip for this particular video, we may have to do a part 2, is shop for a mortgage lender. And many people like different types of lenders. So I really love credit unions. I love private lenders, but there also are larger banks like a Wells Fargo, a Bank of America. They have mortgage loan products and options for you. Some of them have been great. I went with a large bank the first time, and then the second time we purchased, I went with a private lender. So the first time I went with BB&T, they're now called Truist. And then the second time I went with Movement Mortgage, which is really central based to the Charlotte metro area. But each lender is going to have different products to offer you and incentives. Some of them can give you closing costs. Some of them are going to be able to give you a better interest rate. So shopping around, and you don't have to know all this by yourself. Wherever you are, reach out to a licensed agent, and they'll be able, because they're in the work every day, they'll be able to give you some feedback. And no, you don't have to go with the first person that they tell you. Tell them you would like 3 different options, and then you do the vetting and you decide. So you want to be a homeowner? I have tons of things to share. You just let me know. Please like, subscribe, and comment on this video. And until next time, just do it.